As reported earlier this week, government officials in India tore down a 20-foot statue of Jesus that had been standing for 18 years. The Archbishop of Bangalore says the demolition is an attack on Christians and that the action violated a stay issued by the court. Meantime, in China, a report earlier this month says the country's communist government has threatened Christian churches and faith leaders in Hong Kong. And joining me now to discuss is Nina Shea, Senior Fellow and Director at the Center for Religious Freedom at the Hudson Institute. Nina, welcome back. So good to see you. First off, always great to be with you. First off, an update on the situation for churches and Catholic leaders in Hong Kong. I know you recently wrote an article about this in the Epoch Times.
Yes, I spoke to a Christian cleric from Hong Kong who was visiting, who gave me the latest. And basically, it's very troubling because religious freedom was relatively good for the churches in Hong Kong up until now. But now it is the last step in crushing the democratic freedoms. Already press, as you know, assembly, speech have already been crushed in Hong Kong. And now there are very worrying signs that they're going after the churches. It's going to look more like mainland China, which is not only going to affect the 1 or 2 million Christians, that's Catholics and Protestants in Hong Kong, but also the mainland, because the 100 million Christians estimated in China mainland really depend on Hong Kong for education, for meeting with co-religionists. It is a breath of fresh air, it has been for them all these years. Now with President Xi's sinicization program, where this is a new policy of repression on the mainland, where minors under the age of 18 can't even enter a church, where there's control and surveillance of the churches by the clergy and indoctrination by the clergy. That's what the clergy are expected to do in the mainland China churches. Now this is now coming to Hong Kong. There were the Communist Party arranged for a meeting with patriotic government-controlled church leaders in China to meet with their counterparts in Hong Kong to tell them about what sinicization is. And that is, you have to base your sermons on President Xi's sayings, and you cannot counter or criticize the Communist Party thought in any way, and you have to promote it. You have to educate your congregation in it. So you became an adjunct. Essentially, these churches are becoming adjuncts of the Chinese Communist Party. And what's particularly troubling, Tracy, is that about 60% of the schools, K through 12, on Hong Kong are Christian schools. These are Catholic and Protestant, and they are being threatened now. And so that is Reverend L, who is this cleric who's not revealing his name because he fears reprisals for him or the church. He says that will be the first step of crushing religious freedom in Hong Kong, is to get control of these schools. And it'll happen slowly, but it will mean that there will be no independent thought. This is an ideological war that's going on. It means that not only dissent, but your beliefs about mercy, for example, is something that the Chinese Communist Party cannot abide. In fact, that was the exact quote of President Xi of China when he gave a directive to crush the Uyghur population. And, 1 to 3 million of them have been detained and indoctrinated and had forced abortions and forced sterilizations to eliminate them. He said, have no mercy, show no mercy. And that was in the leaked documents of the CCP that went to the New York Times. So these are some of the fundamental principles: individual dignity, human dignity. All of that is at stake now in Hong Kong and hence in China.
Nina, this is all so very, very concerning. And unfortunately, running out of time, but quickly, I'm wondering if you can talk to us about, other places that you're following that are of particular concern for those being persecuted for their faith.
Well, I'm following and active on Nigeria because it's an extremely violent area in the north of the country, and Christian villages are being attacked by Islamist fanatics, herders of the Fulani tribe, not all of them, but some of them, and they are being massacred, horrific torture and massacres and rape. And the government troops stand by and police stand by and do not interfere and protect them. So thousands of them have been slaughtered in the last year. And this is probably the largest number, the place where the largest number of Christians have been killed. Elements of ISIS and Al-Qaeda are also there. So this is a place that's rapidly radicalizing. And these fanatical Islamist groups and terror groups are wiping out the Christians.
Nina, unfortunately, we have to leave it right there. Thank you so much for speaking with us and bringing these atrocities to light. We appreciate it.
Thank you.